Welcome to the Take a Listing Today podcast, where our hosts Jim Studebaker and Todd Robertson give you strategies to get you out of the office right now so you can take a new listing today. And now, here's Jim and Todd.
Hello, welcome back. Wow, where are we? It's like from the Twilight Zone. I don't feel familiar in here.
It feels like the first day of school, you know?
Well, we are back in the studio. We've got the palm trees in the background. We've got the microphones. And in the corner, as always, is Lisa Gray.
Lisa Gray.
We're back.
Nice to see you over there. So we are all back in the studio, ready to do a wonderful podcast for you today. And before we get into today's topic, don't forget our website, the takealistingtoday.com site, where you can see our future topics coming up, make some suggestions and things like that. So we have a wonderful topic for you today. Ooh. It is all about how to create a personal brochure that sets you apart from the crowd, because you don't want to just be mixed in with the crowd like everybody else, right?
And think about this. When things reopen, when people go back to work and it's starting to happen, what's going to separate you from everybody else? We're going to give you one nugget today, and if you choose to implement it, this will be worth 5 or 10 closings by the end of this year.
So listen up and learn. So we want to tell you, first of all, that employees, they have it really easy when it comes to marketing themselves to prospective employers. A resume, a cover letter, that's all that you need, and that's all that employers expect. However, the employees aren't the owners of a small business like you are, with brands tied to the business owner. So real estate agents looking for clients go about marketing more like models who send out portfolios and composites. Now, for an agent, a listing presentation is akin to the model's portfolio, and a personal brochure is her composite. But it's not a vanity marketing piece. It's easy to keep the content of an expired listing or a FSBO brochure on track. However, too many personal brochures are reading like vanity marketing pieces.
And think about this. 2 realtors out there, right? 99% are going to have a business card, and maybe 1% is going to have a personal brochure. And if there was a tipping point, without going into any details yet, we're going to give you a lot of great details that you can implement. We're going to share with you the magic of instantly separating yourself from the pack.
Yeah, and when we talk about personal brochures, what are we talking about here? Look. Ooh, nice.
Oh, trifold, eh?
A little trifold brochure. What about that? I mean, how many agents in your area even have a personal brochure like this?
Exactly.
Much less 2 or 3 or 10, and we'll come into that here a little bit later on.
So grab your paper and pen and let's get into this. What about, if you've never had one before, consider for the first time in your real estate career, ooh, what if I had a great personal brochure?
Yeah, so forget the sales pitch, the trite overused statements, and be authentic with a personal brochure. Now, what do you include in that? You want to include your business philosophy, your biography, any impressive sales statistics. Hopefully you have some. Awards that you have received. Showcase how you give back to the community, and of course include some testimonials. That is really critical.
And there's a very easy way. So Jim just rattled off a bunch of bullet points that are essential for you to put in. And I was reminded, right, we've chatted before, I think we got this from Floyd. He said back in the day, what's the most popular radio station in the world? WIIFM. Means what's in it for me. So as you're developing and building this brochure, we're going to give you ideas, and we'll show you how to do it with no work later on. But as you're doing this, thinking about what's in it for the client. What about their needs? Right, a business card can do a little tiny bit. A brochure, you can do a lot.
Absolutely. Now, what do you need to focus on when creating a personal brochure? Well, how about the color selection? Make sure the colors match the branding colors that you use in your logo and your website. How about the layout of the brochure? Make sure it's organized, cohesive, and it flows from the first page to the last in a way that makes sense. How about the typography? Am I saying that right?
Typography.
All right. That is what makes the difference between a professional-looking piece and something amateurish. Typography is the layout of the text, the letters, and the words in a way that creates visual design and makes the content easy to read and understand while still having an impact or helping to convey the message.
And think about this, as we're going through this podcast, right? A lot of people might not tune in to that one point, to that bullet point, but how many times have we as people, all of us, those listening, those watching, and all of us here, you drive by a car that has a magnetic car sign and they have some crazy font and you're like, you can't even read it. You're like, they spend a lot of money. And then same with a billboard. You're going down the road going, they spend a lot of money, right? I mean, simplicity sells. We're going to get into what type of font and how to make that simple for your future clients.
Very important, very important.
Well, and to give an example of typography, because I think that's kind of a confusing thing. Some people think, is it just the font? What is that? McDonald's, the large M that they have for McDonald's that at one point became arches over the McDonald's, that's typography. That's taking a letter or a word and you're actually creating a visual impact.
Logo around it.
Yeah, a visual impact with a letter or word. Amazon, how they took the arrow and brought it from A to Z. Many people for years didn't even realize what that was, what they were doing. They were saying you can get everything from A to Z. So that's playing with letters and creating a visual impact. That's what typography
Beautiful.
is.
Wow, thank you for that lesson. How about font sizes and font names? Can you help us with that, Lisa? That's okay. I've got them typed down here, so I can do it.
Okay. Well, I can tell you one thing as you talk about them is that it's sans serif is the key. That your serif is the curly cues, all that kind of stuff that you see in fonts, and it's very hard to read. And remember, we want things that are easy to digest for the people that are looking at our brochures. So you're really looking for fonts that are sans serif, and you're going to name some of them.
Yeah, we want the Helvetica, the Century Gothic, and the Verdana fonts because they are all sans serif, which means without serif, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so how about photographs? Well, they should be carefully considered so that the end result is appealing, eye-catching, and different from the other agents in your market. Your photos should convey expertise, authority, and professionalism.
And I have to tell a story here, and it's a funny but bad story, but photographs are so important. Make sure it's modern. Make sure it's really you. There's when I first got into real estate, I went to a seminar, right, learning this kind of stuff. And one of the gentlemen talked about taking your photo. It's going to go on all your marketing. And he talked about a real estate agent in his market years ago had a photo from Glamour Shots 20 years ago. And when the realtor showed up, they were expecting somebody else, and they looked over and they're like, why'd they send the ugly sister?
Oh,
that's terrible.
Oh, that is not good. Oh, see, it's so nice to have the sound effects back on.
Boy, okay.
Instant cue right here.
Thank God for editing. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I just got
Yeah, so the glamour shots, maybe using your high school prom photo, probably not good when you're like 45.
Let them be real. Let them be you. Show up as the best version of you, but make sure it's modern, it's real, and we're not doing any false advertising.
Save the glamour shots for the dating sites, right?
Correct.
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
the filter is the... Yes.
That's the other podcast that we do, right?
Right. That's our evening one.
Right, take a date today.
Yes.
And so we'll...
How to get a phone number today at happy hour. Oh, no, happy hour's closed. You can't even do that.
No. How do you date in this society now where you can't get 6 feet...
That's why we have a podcast today.
Okay, right. So check out that podcast. We're going to write it later on.
Yep.
Okay. Now, once you have your brochure completed, what is the best... Oh, I completely skipped over something here. I got excited. What if you don't feel comfortable with making your own brochure? Because after all, you're probably not a graphic artist or an advertising wizard. You're really good at listing and selling real estate. Well, what if there were a company that could produce one of these fine brochures for you? Well, it just happens that our sponsor, ProspectsPLUS.com, has a variety of brochures on their website already done. The words are there. Plug in your photo, plug in your logo. Boom, you've got them.
And let me give an example, because think about this time we're all in right now at this moment. And I talk to real estate agents every week from all around the country. And there are some deals falling apart because people are getting scared. Some people, I want to wait until this happens or this is done or that. I happen to pull up for our podcast a personal brochure done by ProspectsPLUS. So if you don't want to design, edit, layout, cut, paste, go look on the site. Here's one that says, in real estate, timing is everything. Is now a good time to sell? What you don't know about waiting could cost you plenty. So you could send this digitally or print it out. And when you open this up, it's all about what they're thinking about. So imagine the right marketing piece for the right person at the right time, and this hits on timing. Because guess what? Here's the truth. It might not happen, but it might. So thinking about when everything else opens up, or thinking about the month of January. Nobody wants to sell November, December. Oh, holidays. Well, if everybody goes on the market in January, supply and demand says you're going to get less money. So if everybody's ready until everything opens up, and we're going to go market just with a business card, supply and demand says other people are a few steps ahead of me if they've already done this.
Well, and now I'm going to stack the awesome.
Okay.
So it's awesome that Prospects Plus has these brochures, and they're already created, and the wording is perfect, and the topics are ideal and very specific. On top of that, right now, Prospects Plus is giving a promo code for a free brochure download for a limited time.
Do we know what that is?
The code is free brochure. Doesn't get any easier than that.
Oh, excellent.
Free brochure.
FREE.
So for everybody watching and listening right now, go take advantage of this because we're giving you a free one that they can print themselves or send to their client's email.
They could use it digitally if they want to send it out that way. They could do it that way as well.
Beautiful.
Print it at home. But you have no excuse now.
Right.
Now they need to stack the awesome. Go get that for free.
And I like what you said. And guess what? Now you're going to stack the awesome for your clients.
Yes.
So when your clients read about you and your service, they're going to be like, wow, a business card or a person that just, it's over.
Right.
Sweet. And now they're free. Huh.
Yes.
All right.
For a limited time.
For a limited time only.
Yeah.
All right.
All good
Very
things
good.
don't last, right?
So now you've got your brochure completed, or hopefully maybe a few brochures. What is the best way to use it? Well, Barbara Tadaro, the head of marketing for Tadaro team in Franklin, Massachusetts, says, our personal brochure is included and placed at the end of every pre-listing presentation package. So that's a great idea for a brochure. Some other popular ways that professionals use their brochures: include it in a mailing to owners of expired listings, include it in a mailing to FSBOs, and stick it in your buyer's packet.
Now, if you could stick it in their pocket, that'd be great because they go, what's this? And they have to read it better.
6 feet of social distancing. I don't know if you're going to get near their pocket.
No, can we print this in the sans serif font, please, so I can read this in the future? Thank you.
By the way, you're talking about things physically to do with that brochure, and I just want to go back to that idea of when you are distancing during a pandemic, you've got to get more creative. How do I get these materials out there? If you're downloading this this brochure, you now have the digital copy of it. So that means you can email it to someone. You can make it available on your website for someone to download. So just keep that in mind. There are other ways to do things, and you want to think out of the box and get this information out to people.
Exactly. And I think what's great about this conversation of what you two just said is, the truth is, so everybody out there has heard about personal brochures at one point or another. Most people have got away from that. Why? Because we're busy. We're in the world of technology overload, and we're going to talk about here in a second. And stay with us. In our next podcast, we'll talk about a technology footprint. But think about this: if 99% of your competition is not doing this, and they just did what you said to include this in their buyer package or their seller package, that little tiny thing that they can now download for free and stack to cool for their clients, that little tiny thing will separate you from everybody else. And it's possible that at the end of the day, you end up taking a listing that day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and we continue to create these new innovations. So yes, everything is digital. Do we need these things to actually hand it? Oh, is this antiquated now? Well, there's Kindles out there. They've been out there for years. People said, oh, here's Kindles. Nobody's going to buy a book anymore. Well,
Right.
Is that true?
No.
Are we having issues with people buying books? Is Amazon going out of business, which I realize they sell other things. But the point is, Barnes & Noble, for a while, they were closing stores. They're actually adding more brick and mortar stores around the country.
Wow.
You would not be investing in that
It's
way.
the experience, right? The movie
Yes.
theaters. Everyone thought the movie
Yes.
theaters were shut down when Redbox and Netflix
Right,
came out.
right,
Well,
right.
when they reopen, people still want to take their family and have an experience.
Well, and why don't you be one of the few people that gets the value of a tactile experience, having something in your hand that you can keep, that you can refer to again and again. Be that agent.
Yes.
So if nobody's doing this anymore because they think it's antiquated, why don't you be one of the few agents doing it? Now you really stand out.
And when they read
Yeah.
it, they're not thinking antiquated. They're thinking, wow, this person is put all this time and energy into exactly what my needs or what I was thinking, what I'm going through.
Right.
So here's the bottom line. Buyers and sellers don't want to be sold by you. They want to be sold on you. So get your professional real estate brochure. It will do just that. And that's everything there is to know about creating your own personal brochure that will set you apart
So
from
do you
the
want to
crowd.
be the
There it
business
is.
card? Do you want to be the
Right.
business card person? Or do you want to be a personal brochure of access to many, and you know what'll happen? He or she with the best marketing campaign wins the game because perception becomes reality.
Yep, that is very true.
Excellent. Do we have a phone call?
Yes, we do. We're going to call out to Scott. You've got his number right there, Jim. And Scott is an awesome agent. He has been so creative during COVID and some of the ideas he's come up with. He's done some unique postcards.
These are his stuff here?
Those are some of his postcards. He's got a great story about toilet paper to
Nice.
tell. And yeah, we're
Things
going
you
to
need to survive. Nice.
Yep, we're going to get him on the phone and have him share some of his wisdom.
Excellent.
Some of his ideas. And maybe play a game.
Well, and it looks like the phone lines are blowing up, but we only have time for Scott, I think, on this
are.
podcast.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Okay, we'll try to get to everybody throughout the day, but right now we have time for one call.
all right. All right. We're going to turn that down. We need a little music here while we're dialing for dollars. Anybody?
Jeopardy. How's it go, Lisa?
You make me feel like dancing.
All right. We'll see if that
There
works.
we
That's
go.
not Jeopardy, but that's what we were listening to earlier.
Has not been activated. To transfer to the operator, press 0.
Oh, that's
or,
not good.
At the
What
tone,
happened?
begin recording.
Wait,
your
is there a phone
message.
number on the
Oh.
card?
Stop recording.
Is there a phone
press
number on this
any
marketing
key.
piece?
One moment, please.
Let's hit the
Thank you
operator.
for calling the Detroit Medical Center. This call may be monitored
Okay,
for quality
look on the
assurance
card.
and training purposes.
Did we get the wrong number here? Go for it.
We're calling the
Same
Detroit
number.
Medical Center.
Operator, can I help you?
Hello, I'm looking for Scott. Hello?
I'm sorry.
Is this a real estate office or the medical center?
This is the operator. How can I help
Oh,
you?
the operator. Do you have Scott there? Scott Bergeron?
Spell the last name. please.
Yeah, Bergeron.
B as in boy or B as in Victor?
Yeah, B like boy.
B-E-R.
Yeah, Bergeron. And if you can't reach Scott, we could.
We're on a live podcast, so you're live on YouTube, Facebook, and everything. So pleasure to meet you. What is your name?
And also,
I don't think she was impressed.
Are you still there?
Let's try that number one more time. Go from the card. It's the same number on the card.
Yeah, it's the same number. All right, maybe I dialed it wrong. I don't know. This is live, right? See, now we know it's live.
No
Okay.
sense of humor.
Right. Boy, she's like a sore sport there.
I gotta be honest, I didn't know operators existed anymore.
Right?
I felt like we just fell back in a time
04.
machine for a minute there. Lily Tomlin.
Yeah.
All right.
One ring.
Let's try that one there.
Yeah, what's the extension, please? Yeah.
Two ringy dingies.
Here we go. We're going live with Scott.
I hope he's okay. Like he's not at the medical center.
Can someone check on him?
Huh.
Hello.
Oh, there we go.
Hello, is this Scott?
It sure is. How the heck are ya?
Hey, you got Jim and Todd here.
Hey.
Take a listing today.
How are you, sir? You got Jim Studebaker, Todd Robertson, and Lisa Gray.
Jim, Todd, and Lisa. I talked to Lisa earlier today. Gentlemen, how we doing?
Outstanding. Outstanding. Thanks for being available and wanting to call in today. And we have a couple of questions. This is awesome.
Yeah. We're
Ask them. What do you got for me?
Our topic today, we are actually talking about agent brochures. I don't know if you've ever used those, Scott, but just talking about how to put one together that's really going to help you stand out. And I don't know if you want to speak to that at all, or if you want, you can just speak to what you've been up to during the pandemic and how you've been moving forward and keeping things going.
So I don't really use an agent brochure. Well, I guess let me put it this way. I have two things that I picked up from a gentleman in Kentucky that I went to a conference about. One's called the buyer's journey, and then one's called the seller's journey. And they're basically,
Nice.
they lay out, the steps in plain language, not ridiculous, lawyer language, but in plain language. This happens, then this happens, then this happens. Because that's what we get all the time, right? We get the, well, what's next? Well, what's next? What do we do now? You know what I mean? And the bottom it has my logo, it has, like myself and contact information, and that's what I give to folks. I send it to them too. I would love to find a way to digitize it where you can turn it into like a checklist where you check stuff off,
Right?
but I haven't found that yet. So that's kind of the way I do that. And that's been a couple of years now.
Awesome. And then share with us, because Lisa mentioned while a lot of agents were restricting and sedating, you were doing some creative stuff to keep marketing and prospecting, which is brilliant without even knowing any details, because whenever everybody else zigs, the top people zag, correct?
Yeah, so here's what I got. The first, maybe, I would say a week, but the first few days, all you saw on Facebook was every store is out of toilet paper, every store is out of this essential thing, every store is out of this thing, and just you saw that everywhere. So next door to our office here is a party store, and for whatever reason they get stuff but nobody else can. So I was in there getting toilet paper for myself, and the guy goes, "How much you need?" I go, "Well, how much you got?" He goes, "I'll give you a case or two." I go, "Cool." So I shot a video in our lobby and said, "Look, if you can't find toilet paper, text me, email me, or Facebook message me, and I'll bring you some."
Nice.
Or I'll leave some in the office as well. All you do is come in, and say you need some, then you can take it home with you. No big deal. You'd be amazed how many people watched that video. First of all, thousands of people watched it, and then two, people reached out to me. It's during times like these, you got to do two things. You got to care about people, and then the other part, which leads into the postcards, you got to give them some laughs, right? So the first postcard we did last month was just I'm here for you, and I'll help you any way I can, with big pictures of toilet paper on it.
I got it right here, Scott. Actually, so I'm showing it up on the camera.
One of your postcards is live.
Postcard. Yeah.
Fantastic. Absolutely. Yep. So the funny thing is, that's kind of the plainer one. The one from this past, the most recent one from this month, is I made like a tongue-in-cheek checklist of ways to get through the pandemic. Okay, and you pet your dog a lot. Well, you can only do that so much, and your dog gets all upset, right? Or eat a whole bunch because everybody's eating. That's all I go. I'm eating this. I'm eating that. Well, the scale's not going to be nice to you,
right?
And then the bottom three were things that I do. Content that I put out, like we do a live show every Wednesday at 7 p.m. called Talking Real Estate. A buddy of mine, Don Lawrence, and myself, and we just cover real world stuff. And I tell people to reach out to me. I reach out to like 20, 30 people a day at least, and do video. Video is a big deal for me now because it saves time, and they can hear the inflection in your voice, and people know you care about it.
So Scott, let me ask a question about the videos you do. So what are you putting on those videos, and who are you sending them to? Well,
so every morning I have about 15 people or so. I'll say, hey, so-and-so, just calling to check on you. Or just send them a video to check on you, see how you're doing, what are the big plans. I do that. I do birthday ones where I sing happy birthday in a terrible voice.
We could do that, Todd.
Yeah.
Yep, and then every Friday I drop a video like that I put on YouTube. So YouTube's a big deal now, especially for the younger generations that are coming through. So it gives you a bigger presence, in the digital market.
Awesome. That's great. I like that personal touch. And it's so fascinating because most people I would say most are scared, right? To go Facebook Live or to do a video. And just like we've learned doing this all these years, it'll never be perfect. Work on it, make it great, make sure it's tight, and then just go, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So, guys, I'll tell you another interesting thing. Like, I started doing that with agents, and you'd be amazed how quickly they respond or how much nicer they are when they talk to you. It's amazing.
So you're creating videos, you mean that you're sending to agents, Scott?
Absolutely. So I sent one to an agent 2 nights ago and explained that I'm easy to work with and that my client is dying to get this home, and we want a bidding war with like 7 or 8 other people.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Just because you're putting a little more personal touch on it.
Yeah.
Even more, the phone calls are great. I get
that's
that
great.
You can hear the voice, but videos it's faster, guys. Too honestly, I could shoot like Facebook Messenger only lets you shoot like a minute video.
Right, but the iPhone you could do, right?
Right. I mean, I could do a bazillion of those in seconds.
Yeah.
Smart. Well done, man.
Well, that is great, Scott. I feel bad about saying this, but I would love to just send you. Have you read Todd's latest book here?
It sounds like you might not need it.
Legend.
I'd love to read it.
Okay, because I feel like I should give it to you, but I'm not going to. We're going to make you play the contest because we do that for everybody. That wouldn't be fair if we just send it to you.
Right. So you ready for a question?
Yeah.
We could do that. Lisa, can we give him the gift card too?
Yeah, or give
if he
him
wins.
a gift card.
So if you win, you're going to win the book and a $25 gift card. Jim's pulling out the question now.
That is a great deal.
Yeah.
Good luck, Scott.
Are you ready?
Thank you.
All right. Here is your question. In what American city would you find the Golden Gate Bridge?
Oh.
It's California, San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Oh.
That is correct.
Well done.
Oh, we have clapping here too. Todd, what does Scott win?
Scott won two things. First of all, folks, he won a $25 gift card and a copy of the book, the second printing, Become a Listing Legend.
What happened to the first printing?
The first printing, Amazon went through them, and then Barnes & Noble, and now we try to make it digital, so we're trying to keep them on stock for people winning.
All right, good,
Yeah.
good. So that's the second printing. Okay, second printing of 10?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oops. It was actually 8.
8,
Yeah,
okay,
thank you.
good.
Thank you. Yep.
Congratulations, Scott. Thank you very much for taking our call today and sharing your wisdom with us and also marketing with the funny postcards going out as well.
Well, guys, I tell you what, it was an awesome time to talk to you, and hopefully I'll talk to you soon.
Stay powerful. Thanks for ideas, man. Keep up the great work. Keep dominating out there. Thank you.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye. All right. Well, anything else, Lisa?
No, that's called ending on a high note.
Yes.
That is ending cool. That was very... And that's still playing. All right. Wait a minute. There we go. Hit that button. Okay. That's the music we want. All right,
There
good.
we go.
Perfect.
Excellent. Well, thank you for joining us today. Don't forget, if you'd like to be part of our audience for our next live show, visit our website at takealistingtoday.com. You might win some great prizes just like Scott did. Today's podcast brought to you, as always, by Prospects Plus, offering everything you could ever need for your marketing. Visit them at prospectsplus.com. And until next time, thanks for joining us.
Bye-bye.